and the Ba. The Ka is the spirit, the Ba is the soul. So the Kaaba is the house of the souls and the spirits of who? Of those who let themselves being trapped into diverting the natural cosmic wire connected to the origin, the source, the primordial energy. You are rewired, or that wire is deactivated. And what is activated is an artificial line connecting the believer to the Kaaba, or to a cross, or to a church, or to a Vatican, right? So there's an artificial line that wire your brain to it, or a book. It can be the Quran, it can be the Bible. You're wired, the Bible gets wired, or the Bible gets wired to your brain. You are deactivating that natural cosmic line of energy. Is damped down, is attenuated, because, right, something came in and took basically over whatever was set naturally by the cosmos within every single human body. So the brain and the human body are all wired into this mesh. Now, how do we confirm this? Now, we've seen this picture, right? We know this, they can see this from satellite, right? The Westerners, right? From satellite. We know the Earth has an electromagnetic wave. And the human body does have its own electromagnetic wave. So you have bodies, right? Humans, basically 8 billion plugged into this, on this earth right there like that. But they are individually wired to the earth magnetic field, which itself is wired to a bigger network, which itself is wired to a bigger network, right? But all of those are connected, right? So when you look at this here, this here is just a simple look or depiction of, right, of our planetary system or solar system. We have multiple planets revolving around the center. They mimic what? The electron revolving around the center, forming what? A mesh. The Dogon call it the mesh. They form a mesh, right? They all move around in different direction. We see weaving in here. Weaving. And through these weaving, these lines, light is absorbed or scattered, right? So this is perfectly a good depiction again of the Dogon concept of Dada, the spider, right? So we can put this here. The spider web comes in again, right? Again. Brain. We're going to continue into science, right? Let's continue into the scientific book, paper. For those who are just joining, this is the title of the scientific paper we are reading. And we are learning that the human brain is wired into a very peculiar form of energy that has the tendency of ups and downs. It is a wavy energy, right? It is a wavy form of energy. It's thought of covering our entire universe, including our body and brain. So the human brain is wired to that whole network, right? And I can stay only on that and basically break down a lot of stuff. But that's not the scope of this life, right? But most definitely, we have the information saved in this slide so we can come back here at any time. I have a lot to say about this, right? But let's just move on, right? Let's move on for now. This idea came about after realizing that an atom of light can exist in two forms, both as a particle and as a wave. This is the duality that exists within the atom and within the light. The atom here can take two forms, particle or wave. Light, when we say light, we are referring here to the photon. Photon are packets, right, of tiny particles, right, of energy. And a photon also has duality. The photon can be a particle or and a wave at the same time. That's the duality that exists in these element, right? The atom has those particularity. So when we talk about wave, you can see that there is a network of intergalactical connection, wavy form of communication all the way to the core of every single atom in the human body is wired. It may not be visible to the naked eye, but it's clearly wired, right, to the source. This is known as the duality of an atom or light. Therefore, we can also view all things in our universe as waves. In such a way, our brain can be viewed at the deepest level as either an ensemble of particles or a wavy brain. Hence, a picture of the wavy brain should at least have two components of waves: electromagnetic brain waves and waves arising from all particles. The anatomical chemical components or mass itself is an energy. Many think that these whole waves are not only restricted to the brain, but they are easily diffused out and form an interconnected wave network with our universe. So we are wired all the way to the core of the atom. This notion is accepted by some neuroscientists and physicists, which is associated with consciousness or string theory. Now, the string theory is known within the Dogon. Once I go live on the Dogon, we are going to explore the string theory, and also quantum mechanics was known by the Dogon. They knew about the subatomic level of the particles through the Sene. I showed you the name, the Dogon name of the proton, the neutron, the atom, the boat. We broke that down previously, right? It's going to come back. We're coming back to it, right? Now, This is the section of this scientific paper here, section 5. Fusion of electrical and quantum fields inside the brain. Whoa, wait a minute. Fusion. Let me zoom in. Hold on. Fusion of electrical and quantum fields inside the brain. Fusion of Bohmian and quantum mechanics and their algorithm. Since the brain is also encompassed by the oneness of consciousness, infinite wavy energy, one may presume that the brain features infinite waves. It is the localized and in diffusion with external cosmos waves. There is a deep connection between the cosmic waves and the brain waves, right? In fact, it can be viewed as one medium of oneness, one field, wholeness, or one consciousness. This indirectly compels us to realize that the brain, in fact, has quantum and multi-dimensional light features. This is important here, guys, because we've been breaking down melanin and the role melanin plays into cleansing, purifying the body, regulating the body. On the other side, we have what we call serotonin and melatonin. Serotonin is triggered and secreted during sunrise or in the morning to keep you aware of the surrounding, to bring in consciousness. And melatonin is secreted at sunset when dark obscurity is present. The brain is smart to secrete melatonin. But melatonin is another version of serotonin. And we're gonna learn about it, right? So here we have specific hormones that regulates the body being synchronized to the cosmos, connected to the cosmos through the pineal gland, because the pineal gland is the one secreting those hormones, melatonin, serotonin. In between, we have neuromelanin, the melanin in the neuron that plays the role of exchanging information through electrical signals. Right? This indirectly compels us to realize that the brain, in fact, has quantum and multi-dimensional light feature. Right? The brain has quantum. The brain consciousness or the brain thought can be quantized, right? It can take many discrete position or stage. We cannot predict it. We don't know exactly what someone is going to think about or the brain is going to do, right? So the brain is quantized, if you want, right? Can take on discrete state at the subatomic level, right? Non-local quantum wave function, diffused low-dimensional tunneling superposition. Guys, it's gonna get crazier. This is nothing. Let's just move on. In other words, one may view these quantum light waves of the brains. This means energy of brain anatomy viewed on the smaller scale as brain background waves interconnecting and permeating the whole universe, hidden underneath another wavy brain network. electrical, electromagnetic brain waves, functional brain energy. Thus, the brain has two types of energy: anatomical energy and physiological energy. The quantum and anatomical energy is hidden and has not yet been detected. Oh, we thought for a moment that science knew everything, but we are seeing that science has its own limit, right? And they acknowledge it here. The quantum anatomical energy is hidden and has not yet been detected. So, according to the computation and mathematics, it is supposed to be there. It is supposed to exist, but they haven't yet detected it, but it is there. Guys, what all of this means? This means that you remember in the previous life, we were trying to find out where is the soul and spirit? Where in your body the soul sits at? If you remember, we made a couple of suggestions, not us, but scientists made a couple of suggestions based on these scientific paper. So I'm gonna bring the scientific paper here and I'm gonna show you the different observation that we made so far, right? On the location of the soul, the spirit, and what is the connection between the soul and melanin, because they are deeply connected. We are seeing the connection being deep between melanin and the soul, but we are trying to find out if we can get some scientific data to back that up, right? So far, this is where we're going to go. We made notes last week, so I'm trying to find the different observation. We made two. If you can remember, if you remember it, right? We made two observation. René Descartes, the French philosopher, said that the soul sits in the pineal gland. Mr. Korotkov, from the scientific paper, made the claim that the soul sits in the electromagnetic field of your body, right? Right? Even in science, they don't all agree on everything, right? We don't all agree on everything, so we're trying to make it make sense, right? So, Korotkov named, right, and listed in the scientific paper, right, says that the seat of the spirit and soul is within these lines. You remember these lines being meshed and connected to the whole cosmic mesh network, right? Looking like a spider web, right? So he claims that they are within the lines. So what we are learning today, right? So where is Rene Descartes? We have a third suggestion today. I'm trying to find that slide so I can put them in the same spot. Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. Thank you. I appreciate tap your screen, y'all. Wow, 28.7K. Yo, you guys are amazing. You guys are the best, man. 18 share, 28.8K. This year is driving me crazy. I want to keep going. I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. Let's go. Now, let me find. I appreciate your patience. Don't move. Don't go anywhere. Please. Let me see here. So, the French scientist, or maybe I have it up here. This was another crazy scientific paperwork. The quantum reversal of soul. Damn, this paper here, we're gonna come back to it, right? If I start explaining, we're gonna get out of track. So let me just find that information. So the French researcher, oh man, where is that slide? Oh, I know for sure I put it somewhere here. I have to find it, guys, because I'm compiling information, and it's good that some critical information be placed in the same spot. It will help me in the future, right? When I go back and talk about the same topic, then I will easily land on it. So, the pineal gland, and then we went here, and then, okay, it's gonna be somewhere here. Pineal gland. It's gotta be somewhere here. The French. So let me reduce this. Let me reduce that. It's probably embedded in the background. Okay. Okay. I think it is here. Okay. Great. So this is the scientific paper. Right. Let me introduce the paper. Right. And you can go read it. We do a lot of scientific reading here, y'all. Right. We back up what we are saying and all the claims with data. Right. So comparison and performance evaluation of human biofield visualization algorithm. In this paper, a scientist called Korotkov, right? Korotkov is right here. Further, Professor Korotkov discusses the existence of spirit and soul in human biofield. He thinks that the spirit and the soul is located in these lines in the human biofield, right? That's what one scientist claimed. Another one called René Descartes, right? A French philosopher, thinks that the pineal, the soul, the seat of the soul, is in the pineal gland. That's okay. We taking notes, right? Now, today, right, throughout reading the scientific paper here, which is, let me bring the paper again, right here, just a second. So we learned today that the whole brain, the whole body is wired to a cosmic network, right, of electromagnetic or energy in the waveform, right? So look at that. Now, in this paper, this is a scientific paper. This is what is said here. The quantum anatomical energy is hidden and has not yet been detected. So, I'm going to take this portion here, right? And we're going to put it side by side back to the claim of the previous two. Okay? So let's go back to, right? Like I said, I'm compiling, right, the different claims, and we're going to put them side by side, right? And we're going to continue reading scientific paper and bring in shedding some light with the Dogon science, right? They call it Dogon mythology, but it's not a mythology. We are clearly seeing that the Dogon knowledge is being proven and shown through scientific data. Okay, so let's go. I think it was here. Just a second. So I'm gonna put this here, right, in this slide. So this is where we have the different claims here. This slide. So I'm gonna paste this here, right? This guy says the soul and the spirit sit in the human biofield, right? Or within the chakras, right? We learned about the chakras. Chakras are no joke, right? We shown scientific data to prove that the chakra is no joke, right? It's deeply connected, right? And René Descartes, the French philosopher, says that the pineal glands, the pineal gland host the soul.
The seat
And
of the
in
soul.
this paper, we are being told that the quantum anatomical energy is hidden and has not yet been detected.
Hidden,
right?
like us.
So there is something that is hidden that has not yet been detected by any instruments, but based on mathematical calculation, it is supposed to be there, but it has never been detected, never been identified, but it is supposed to be there based on calculation, right? So here we have this paper clearly admitting that it is undetected. We have not detected it yet, and it is hidden. But what is hidden? What is hidden?
Double tappings, Potolo.
Do you
Double
remember
tappings.
the etymology of melanin?
Masterclass.
Melanin.
That's a masterclass.
In melanin comes from melano. So when you say Melanesia, you're talking about the Black Asia. The Black Asia. Because mel comes from the Greek melano.
The Naga.
Melano in Greek means black. Right?
Tell him, bro.
And I have the source here. Right? Let me show you the book here. This is a book. Everybody must have this book. Let me put the book on the screen. This book here on Amazon is listed as $3,000 to $4,000. This book is listed on Amazon as $3,000 to $4,000 for a book. This book here, $3,000 to $4,000 right now on Amazon. It is meant to keep black people away from getting it. As soon as you see like $3,000, $4,000, you just run away quickly. You just flip the page. You close. You shut down the page quickly. Like damn, $3,000 to $4,000 for a book.
Senior research chemist.
In the bio of my TikTok, there is a link, a Telegram group, right? That's where I'm posting all the sources I'm using throughout these lives. It's meant to share information, right? But make sure you download the Telegram apps first. And then make sure you hide your personal information, right? If you don't know, I'm just letting you know. In the Telegram, you don't need to show your number, your phone number, your real name. Don't use your real name. No real name. Hide. Make your phone number, personal information invisible, right? Nobody wants to know about it, right? We're just sharing information, right? If you're having trouble joining the group, right, DM me on my TikTok and share your name, your pseudonym in the Telegram, and I can add you manually. And you will have a copy of this book, right? A PDF. This book here is a bombshell. This is a must download and a must read book. I learned so much from this book because it's written by someone who looked like me. No discrimination, no racism like I always do, right? Let's make this, respectful, and there's no need to, all of that. But I'm just saying what it is, right? This black man is a PhD in chemical engineering. He knows what he's talking about. And he's bringing to the
sister,
table
bro.
scientific
Bamz.
blow mind. I mean, the information in this book will blow your mind. Just make sure you download it, right? Now, when you look at the etymology of the word melanin, right? In this book, this is my source, right? And I have another source I'm going to put on the screen. But for now, let's stick to this source here, right? If you did not know, melanin has a pleasant smell. Melanin has a pleasant smell. Melanin can resist up to 1,225 degree Fahrenheit. Toughness. Melanin structure of aromatic rings makes it rigid but flexible, like rubber or plastic. Do you remember Nate, the creator, feminine energy, who was known to be the creator of matter? The weaver, she was weaving quantum particles, quantum energy to make matter. It's right here. Melanin structure of aromatic rings makes it rigid but flexible like rubber or plastic because it mimics what? The spider web. The melanocyte in the melanin resemble the spider web arrangement. And the term spider comes from a scientific paper, and I will show you that in a little bit, right? So I'm trying to get to the source. There you go. Look at that. Melano, Greek word, black. So when you say melanin, you're talking about a black anin. The word mel is derived from melano. Melano equal black. Therefore, mel is black. So when you say melanin, right, you're talking about the black anin. But check this out. Anin is derived from a similar word called amini. Wait a minute. Amin,
Been telling
amun,
you all the hidden one is
amon,
Amun.
amani,
Yeah.
amene.
And you on the
Yes, this is it.
money. This is it.
The divine melanin, the hidden. Look at that. Amin means what? The hidden one. The hidden one. So, this scientific paper here, right? This scientific paper here talking about, oh, we don't know and never detected that. Look at that. The quantum anatomical energy is hidden and has not yet been detected because it is meant not to be detected. It is meant to never be detected because by definition, it is hidden. By definition, it stands for the hidden one. Right? Right there. Amin. So when the Muslim or the Christian pray at the end of the prayer, they say Amin. Amen. Mel anin could have been said melamin. Mel amin. Mel amun. Mel amun. Mel amon. Mel amani. Remember, Amun and Aman were Coptic. Egypt was invaded by the Hyksos and the many other, the Assyrians. We all know that. They changed the linguistic. So Amun, Amon, if we have to be careful here, it's not a Bantu sound. The Bantu sound was recovered, right? Let's go find the Bantu sound. Control find Amani. Now, if you remember, right, from the book that I showed you, the source here comes from the book that I was just reading. I just put it into a slide, right? I added it into my slide. So mel is black. Mel derived from melano. So when you even say Melanesia, it tells you that black people were there.
Like amino acids.
Melanesia. Mela comes from Melano. Melano means black. The original people in Melanesia were black. Melanesia. Come on. Right? So let's go to anin, right? Melanin. Anin is derived from amini. Amin. Amun. Amon. But what is the sound of Amun? Amon originally? I had to go learn about the kingdom of Kerma and the kingdom of Moroi, right?
Ancient Nubia.
In this book,
Let's get it.
they're clearly telling us
Let
the
me
name
swipe over your
Amon
comments.
is Coptic. You can see there. Amon is Coptic. It's not the Bantu sound. Amun, Amon. Right? They are saying the pronunciation or the sound that is the closest to the original comes from the Ethiopian or Meroitic. So when we talk about Ethiopian here, we are not referring to the Ethiopia of today. We're talking Ethiopia means the dark, the burned face, right? So this Ethiopia here is the continent of Africa because the whole continent was named as Ethiopia. The Atlantic Ocean was the Ethiopian Ocean, right? So we are referring here to the continent of Africa, right? The Meroitic, right, pronunciation. These were still the Twa, the Bantu. Here, Meroitic. You can look at Pharaoh, the king Shabaka, right? Shabaka, Baka, right? The name Kaaba comes from the Shabaka or the Baka, the Kaaba, right?
Turn it back to front.
What we need to know here is what is a possible recovery of the original sound. Look at that. This is Amane. The E with the cap is the S sound, right? This is in French, Spanish, or Portuguese. They have, these symbols on top of the vowel. But this, at the end here, the E with the cap, with the crown, is the E sound. So this is Amane or Amene.
Potolo Bamz.
Amane. This Amane or Amene, this sounds Bantu. Ama, Dogon, Ama. Ama, the egg of Ama, the primordial egg. You see Ama, the primordial egg of the Dogon, being here. Ama.
Please subscribe to the channel,
you
fam.
You also have name like Natakamani, Kamani, Kameni, Kamani, right? Amanitere, right? West Africa, Mali, Burkina Faso, the Tere, the Ere, they have a lot of that. Wolof, Senegal, the Ere, right? Amani, Tere. They have that. So these sounds becomes familiar when we look at Moroi, right? Now, look at another version of Amon. It's Amani.
Amani.
Amani. Now, when we talk about melanin or melanin, look at that, right? Melanin, anin derived from amini. Amin. Melanin is melamin. Amin is what? The hidden one. The hidden one. The one that has never been detected, never been identified. So in the black man, deep within your melanocyte and your melanin structure lies a hidden one. They know it is there, but it is undetectable, unidentifiable.
We got
according to the
facts,
mathematics,
we got
it is
too much
supposed to be
facts.
there. But they cannot see it, they cannot catch it, they cannot, right?
And our shit
It's not
scientific.
subtle. It's not subtle
We knew about
anymore,
science.
according to the equipment that they are using. So going
Millennia.
back to the scientific paper,
BCE.
right? Let's go back here. This was to shed some light. We already seen all of this. For the past 4 weeks, we've been breaking these down, right? 4 weeks, right? This is the 5th week. So let's go back to the scientific paper. This is just the beginning. I have so much information coming up, right? Let's get through it as much as we can.
This is my Kemetik bro, Potolo Bamz on TikTok, doing this great work. Shout outs to Kimmy Got Bars as well, Conscious, 9 Ifa, and everybody else that's Kemetik on the app. Put it in the work.
So,
and myself, Scrappy, Consudea. We put it in the work, fam.
According to the Dogon of the proton and neutron, sen, sene. Proton, neutron. We learn about the electron. N, or aun, right? To open.
The
nest,
fruit don't fall far from the tree.
If you learn about the glyphs of Kemet, you have to combine with the Dogon.
Far from the tree.
Because the Dogon master the quantum mechanic of physics aspect of the spirituality. When it comes to African spirituality, the Dogon master the subatomic level of the energy. The Congo master the motion and the action of the energy. The Congo, right, the totem was the leopard. With the Dogon, they were part also of the Falcon clan. The Falcon, speed, space,
Heru.
Right? Space and time, speed, the Falcon. And we're going to break down those different clans, right? The Yoruba master, right? The communication system out of the web, right? Those web we spoke about. They master the communication system.
Cosmic web.
The force of, Shango, the Orishas, Eshu, Elegba, Obatala, Orunmila, all those things. The Yoruba master the communication system. So every single clan or tribe had a very specific role and assignment. So those tribes were not just there because we wanted to speak different languages. No, every specific tribe had a mission and a goal to keep or to master specific aspect of African spirituality. And they all converge in Kemet before the invaders came in. That's where they met to combine the different knowledge from the different clan and the different tribe, and they put it in action before the invaders came in. That's what I'm seeing here. What I'm saying is based on what I'm reading, based on what I've been reading so far, right? Because when it comes to meshing and weaving quantum particles into matter, and the Dogon refer to a spider, female, called Dada, right? The Dogon knew, and also in Kemet, according to this author, they knew about gravity, electromagnetic force, weak nuclear force, strong nuclear force. These are the 4 fundamental forces of nature, right there, listed, right, in Dogon name. Mono is gravity, Sene, Gomusu is electromagnetic force, Sene, Urio, Sene, Senu, Benu. Right? They did not speak English or Spanish. So they use these according to their respective linguistic. Because people been asking me, oh, where's the atom within the Dogon? They didn't call it atom. They called it the toe, which is the image of the origin of matter, the smallest thing. And they're represented through the grain, the seed. They use the sene seed, the senena, to represent the smallest thing and all those concepts. So the Dogon master the quantum physics aspect of African spirituality all the way to the string theory, right? So I'm not going to skip, right? Let's go slowly here, right? I don't want to make any claims without backing that up. So let's just go through this book here, right? I have highlighted certain area. The myth. This is Laird Scranton, an American who studied heavily the Dogon, speaking and writing a report in this book. The myths tell us that the formation of matter begins with tiny vibrating threads woven by a mythological spider named Dada.
Dada is feminine to the Dogons. Wow.
Well, I'm sorry to say this.
Them
This is
patriarchal
not a mythology.
testicles about to burst right now.
This is no
Please subscribe
way
to the channel, fam. Gratitude. Thanks
a
for
mythology.
everyone
It
who
is a
has already
fact.
subscribed.
This is a scientific paper showing the anatomy of the melanocytes in your melanin. The scientific paper clearly used the term spider shaped. And here they're going to tell us, oh, the myth of the Dogon. The myth, seriously?
We was dealing with science. They came with the myth.
The myths tell us that the formation of matter begins with tiny vibrating threads woven
Tell him, bro. Tell him.
by a mythological spider named Dada.
A cosmological spider,
As
rather.
in string theory, which describes more than 200 quantum particles. These threads are said to be the source of the 266 primordial seeds or signs that combine to form larger components of matter that seem to be counterparts of protons, neutrons, and electrons. In the Western string theory, they only have 200 that they know, quantum particles that they know of. The Dogon have 266.
Wow.
And to represent those, they're using primordial seeds to represent something you can see, you can touch, right? The Dogon have 266 primordial seeds. Now, this makes me think about what? The 256 signs of
Mother
Ifa.
Nature. Connecting with nature.
Connected with the Dogon, 266 primordial seeds. And I will make the connection right there. Primordial seeds.
Cosmic
within
seeds.
the Dogon and primordial sign of Odu within the Yoruba. Right? We clearly see the connection here. Right?
Clearly.
Now, that's not all. The Dogon define and diagram these vibrations as 7 rays of a star. Each of increasing length. The Dogon define and even make a diagram. It is important that I show the Dogon diagram, which is here. Very important diagram. Why? Let me finish reading this section and I will explain why. Although string theorist, I almost said string terrorist. Oh,
the ones
man,
that lie.
damn.
That's what they are.
I don't know
String
what
terrorists.
my brain, man. I'm sorry.
Stealing
Although
shit.
string theorist, it sounds like terrorist. Could theory connected to terrorist? I don't know. You just have to put an R. If you insert the R between the E and the O, you have terrorist. Damn, we have to look into it. Although string theorists often describe strings as loops, the Dogon conceptualize their mythological thread as a coil, the shape of which is based on the spiraling figure that can be traced along the endpoints of the seven star-like rays inside the mythological egg. This is the shape of the Dogon thread. This is what the Dogon drew. Okay? This is what the Dogon drew. Now,
and that's the symbol for speech or taste.
And the seven here.
In the Eye of Horus.
Guys. Ah, man. Look at that.
You see? He be breaking down stuff right now.
Web.
As we speak.
Oh.
Please step up the screen, everybody.
The spider web. God damn. Look at that. The 6, the 9, right? At the center here. The dot. Right there. And then, right? The Dada, the female creator, right? Start weaving, right? According to the Dogon. She's the one who weaved matter. Weaving quantum particles into matter, right? These blocks, these squares, blocks here, right, are being formed through the shape and the alignment of these lines here in the weaving process. So you see here at the center, it resembles this one at the very center here, at the very center of the spider web. So there is a deep connection, and the Dogon are right. Even by looking at scientific data, we clearly see the similarity with the spider web. Look at this.
Double tapping.
You can easily Google this image here. Look at that.
Double tappings. This is how I support my family on this app. You know what I mean? You all need to do the same for me. Double tappings.
You see the 7 lines?
Tappings. When I let it go like this.
In between the 7 first stage of vibration.
Stop playing.
Right? We see that in the spider web here. Right? We see that here when this, in one of these shapes. But it's built in, right? The 6 or the 9 shape. Like that. Now, for a long time, we've been told that the 6 or the 9 is the mark of the beast. The shell. We've been told that the 6 or the 9 is the mark of the beast. What is the connection of this 6 or 9, depending of if you rotate it? You rotate it, right? You have a 9, right? This way, right? Or you have a 6, right? This way, right? Now, let's look at this. When it comes to melanin, we have already shown here, and we're going to do it again, right? Let's look at the chemical formula of melanin. By applying the rule of multiplication and finding the power of the number, we get a 9.
The
By applying division,
144,000
redeem the
chosen
numbers.
ones.
We have a 9.
Yeah.
Addition,
Bro.
we have a 7 plus
See the 100
the 2 coming from subtraction.
1,440.
Right? So we
It's
all
that
have
144,
the
bro.
numbers in the chemical formula of melanin, the 18, the 10, the 2, and the 4 combined to give a 9. A 9. Which is the core geometric pattern observed during the weaving process. The spider Dada makes matter out of quantum by weaving quantum particles. She's making matter, right? And look at the blocks of melanin. You see here? This is the melanin molecule right there. Look at that. It looks like what? Spider web. You remember those squares, right? That you see in the spider web? So you put these together, you have a mesh
shapes.
or a network of
Just
spider
like
webs.
So-called Star
Right?
David goes back to
It
ancient
gets deeper.
Kemet.
That number placed at the center of the Dogon egg. This is the egg of Amma. The egg of Amma. So if you want to know where the 7 comes from, right? This 7 level
7
of
spokes.
vibration. You see here?
7
1,
chakras.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7
These are the
candlesticks.
first 7 stages of vibration of the seed.
Tell them.
Whether it is a human seed, an animal seed, a plant seed, they go through the 7-stage vibration, right? And at the center here, if you count the number of segment here, we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here.
And North Pole is in the middle.
We see the beginning of these 7 stages, right?
Just
These
like a pyramid.
Or these segments. The center is here.
The North Pole is in the middle.
You have that. At the center is what?
That's the head cornerstone.
Crazy.
They try to refuse, bro.
At the center of the egg of Amma, we have what?
Sirius. That's the head cornerstone.
Emaya. Do you know who's Emaya?
Emaya.
The female star. The woman at the center.
Subreceptor.
At the center.
And we have glyphs.
And we learned today about the goddess called Neith from ancient North Africa or Kemet. We learned about Neith, right? So let's go back here. At the center of this egg, right? So let me grab this egg. Because there's a deep connection here between this egg and Neith, right? We have just unlocked something, y'all. We have just did something here. I don't know if you see it, but for me, it is huge. Just by your presence and basically giving me the energy and motivation when I see those likes. I don't want to stop. I want to keep going, right? So, let's do this. We started today's live with brand new fresh information. And the brand new fresh information came from this slide, right? Pay attention. Now, in Dogon mythology, we are taught the concept of a spider Dada weaving quantum particles into matter. This is from this book, okay? I downloaded this book yesterday. This is the book I started reading yesterday. I did not want to stop. You know, when you're reading a book, you eating, you even going to,
A show.
Like you don't want to stop. Everywhere you go, you have the phone on your hand. You don't pay attention to nothing. You just want to read through the lines. That's how I felt yesterday. That was crazy. This book here, you must get it. I got it from Kindle, Amazon Kindle, right, for $20, right, and that's where I got this information here. But this information is also into this free book here, the Dogon. So technically, yeah, there are new information here, right? New information here. But the Dogon spider is not just on this in this source, but also in this one, right? In this source here, right? This one here. This is free. Lave Scranton, he did an amazing work when it comes to the hieroglyphics. Okay? Now, Dada. Who's Dada?
Hope y'all taking notes.
Melanocyte.
Keep it in full
The
effect.
anatomy of the melanocyte
On a scientific level.
a spider shape like in your melanin.
Do go on the whole
Spider shape like.
whole continent.
Now,
Bantu, Kush.
beautiful goddess, Nate. If you did not know, right? If you did not know, she was said to be the first and the prime creator who created the universe and all it contains. This is between 8,000 BC to 6,000 BC, right? It was a woman, right? It was a woman. Woman being at the heart of creation, the personification of that primordial energy and force that makes everything, right? Is personified through the feminine, and it perfectly makes sense. But it will make more sense to me right now because by looking at the Dogon, right? By looking at the Dogon primordial egg called the egg of Amma and looking at the weaving process because her name, right? Her name has this hieroglyph. This means to weave. You see, when you weaving or you making a clothes, you're joining two pieces of cloth, two pieces of fabric together. You need to weave, right? To bind them. Right? Her name means weave. But next to the hieroglyph for weaving, we have the symbol of the ups and down. You remember? Ups and down. And a loaf or a cake. What does that mean? These two glyphs here, the water glyph and the loaf glyph, are there as determinative, meaning they are there to confirm, to bring precision and more clarity into the context of this glyph here being used. Because the N here, the up and down or water glyph, basically means to weave or to transform
energy,
quantum particles into what? Matter. This loaf here, or cake, right? You see this hemisphere?
Electromagnetic energy.
And up here, what is shown as water is a wave. So weaving
electromagnetic waves
creates matter. Weaving creates matter. That's why when you see the spider web, right? The spider making these shapes is weaving by creating what? Space and time. The opening that you see here is space, and the lines is the time, space and time. And the line itself, or the intersections here, right? Or spot of matters, right? That's not all. Going back to Nate, the goddesses or the feminine force of creation.
So spirit
Before
create
Atum, before
matter,
Amun, before
space,
Osiris,
and time.
it was this woman here who was known and venerated. Yes,
That's the
it
cosmology,
was a
people.
woman. And it perfectly makes sense because looking at the structure of the egg of Amma in this Dogon egg, right? The level of the very early level of vibration during the growth of any egg. The Dogon points that out here. Look at these symbols. This is the ancient Dogon writing system, okay? These symbols here. This is the ancient Dogon and North African, right? Proto-Saharian, right? Or proto whatever, right? This is an African writing system here being used. But they are deep. So you see the symmetry here, right? This one resemble that. This one resemble this one. This one resemble that. So there is a symmetry, right? That's why you see these lines, right? There's a symmetry here. And throughout matching symmetrical objects within the egg, we have a better understanding on where these lines comes from when it comes to gestational level of vibration, right? It comes, these lines are these segments. But where is the center of the vibration? Well, right here. Amaya. Let me zoom in again. The, right? Amaya, right? Amaya. This Amaya here is the female star in Dogon. The female star. So it makes perfect sense that Nate, which is equal to Dada, right, is female. According to Dogon mythology, it is a female doing the weaving, transforming, right, particles into matter. She's making melanin, manufacturing melanin, making the blocks, right, putting those together, right. In Dogon, it is Dada. In ancient Kemet,
look at my time.
Nate was known during this dynasty, right? This is the timeline,
1440.
right? She was known as the prime creator.
With the chosen
who created the universe and all it contains, right? And the concept of Ma'at,
52.2,
right,
that's 9. With the chosen 108, that's Ma'at, 9. With the chosen,
the concept of Ma'at
been telling you, fam,
at the
in
time
real
of
time
Nate,
numerology.
and she embraced and she represented some of the concept of Ma'at, which is what? Balance, right? She was known as the keeper of balance.
111. What you know about angel numbers?
The keeper of balance. What else her name represent? Her name represent weave. Right? Let me bring it here. Oops. Oh.
Please subscribe to the channel, fam.
So her
Gratitude.
name, right? It is interesting to note that her name, among its many other connotations, links to the root word for weave.
I just had to screen record for you guys.
Called, right, Dada, the spider Dada, the one who weave
Ashe.
particles into matter, the one who makes matter. Here we have her name connected to weave, carrying with it the meaning to make, to make exist, to make exist, to make something to exist, to make something to become to being, or to create, or to be. That's some of the connotation connected to the name Neith. So the equivalent of her in Dogon mythology would be Dada. So the Dogon perfectly were aware of Dada. And Dada, right, must be going at least 8,000 BC. The Dogon were around. How do we know that? Because they have a mythology that perfectly depicts Dada, which is, right, known as Neith.
Cosmology.
Right.
9-9.
Now, weaving,
101.
making
Matrix.
the thread, right, making matter with a primordial energy or force that is wired to each single individual human being. According to what we've been reading so far, we are